You are listening to the Hawk&Bel podcast.
Chicken scratch, chicken scratch. Chicken scratch. You didn't like my beat? What are you doing?
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
The Hawk&Bel podcast.
Brand new banger.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 check, yo. If I believe in anything, I believe in DNA. I never lived with my father, but I got his ways. Got his swag, got his talk, got his comedy. This ain't astrology, he embodies a lot of me. Ain't that amazing how distance don't really mean nothing? It's in my blood, so I'll always be a part of something. A part of my ancestors that used to work in fields. A part of my grandmother who passed away for real. But for fake, let's say I never had a fam. And rap music that made me everything that I am. Then that would mean my family values money and cars. And somewhat of a conscious mind that turns on and off. I'm rich and trying to make it, but all at the same time. I'm mainstream and underground, but I take pride in this coffin that I'm laying in. A man unfulfilled, throw the roses down the hole. Put my fans in the wheel, cause it's real. When you dying just to make it to the top. And is fame really heaven for us unknown? To sis, do I really have to worship the devil to level up in this rap game of bass and trouble us? CEOs' hearts be as cold as Mount Everest. If you ain't making hits, they forget, but don't forget, now you out of a record contract. No more defining moments, no one remembers the girl that made Try Me or the man that made All Gold Everything. Man, forget this truth, give me all gold everything. I wanna spend it all, what's the point of living if you ain't living it all? My instincts to ball, cause I ain't never had nothing. Mama struggling, hustling a 9 to 5. So in my mind it makes sense for her to drive a leased car. These are the thoughts of a broke man. With good music, no hit records and no jams. No slam poetry, just flowetry. Saying yes with each and every purchase. I work so I can feel good. And I ain't living in the hood, but my mind's a ghetto. My life's baritone, I'm trying to arise falsetto. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Oh, please don't rape me, massa. I'm the least political of everyone I know. But racism's gotta go, I just can't go with the flow. And no, my Twitter ain't full of hashtags like Black Lives Matter. But check my earlier albums if you need some social data. I've always been an advocate for no justice, no peace. But that doesn't mean I have to be a Panther over beats or a David in a lion's den. Christians been looking at me sideways like, why you park that Beamer next to my bike in that driveway? Don't compare me to your swoops with crazy and day. Many O's, KB's, Trip Lee's, and Natalie Sims. Y'all probably shaking your head like, ain't that a shame? But they that and I'm this, so we ain't the same. I'm tired of people telling me how much I'm slept on, when actually I'm just a ghost and I've been dead for so long. People don't see me at all, I become numb to it, unemotionally involved. Don't tell me I'm getting better or how much that I've evolved. I rap different over every beat, see, problem solved. I never been afraid to be different, cause different's what I am. When I made Nightmares, I wasn't trying to make a fan, I was just doing what I love, but sometimes I hate it. Some days I wake up feeling unappreciated. So-and-so drops an album and people think it's amazing, including my girlfriend. Now I'm feeling outdated, feeling like all this effort I'm giving is worth nothing. Filling my grave up with this dirt, retirement's coming. Feel like my father when he retreats away from the world. Life's rhythm of art, futures, lyrics, and earls. I'm out.
Welcome back to the Hawk&Bel podcast.
Test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hawk&Bel podcast. I came in hot. I am Hawk, and to my right, as per usual, we have Bel, aka Bell for President, aka Bell the faster one. Oh, that's a better one. Bell the Sriracha, aka she's the hot piece. And the reason why I say that because Bell, you have this recipe that you found online that you are now fondly in love with.
It's called a chola snack, yo.
A chola, that don't even sound right. A chola snack, yo. You can't intermix.
I'm saying it's
New
called
York.
a chola snack.
You can't intermix New York slang with a California premise or Californian AN premise. So give the people the recipe. What's the recipe?
Lemon juice and sriracha on the Cheetos.
So when I first heard that, I was like, I can see it, but it wasn't something that I wanted to try. I have bad acid reflux. That's just not something that,
Big ups to Chunky But Funky. I believe that's where I got it from.
Chunky But Funky, is that a name of the person or is the name of the YouTube channel?
Her YouTube channel.
Chunky But Funky. Shout out to you. Hopefully you listen. You subscribe to the podcast. We're giving you shouts out. I ran across a really interesting theory. It's called Dunbar's numbers. You ever heard of that? Dunbar numbers.
I have.
Really?
But I don't know why I've heard of it.
Well, so the guy's name is Robin Dunbar. And I'm not going to get into the whole science of it, but the big premise of Dunbar's numbers, or the theory behind it, and let me tell you how I came across it. I came across it because I don't know, I'm weird. I was looking at the relationship of elephants and why they're so synonymous, or they reflect a lot of the human culture in terms of how they build their relationships. And you know how they say elephants have long-term memory and all that. So it's because the reason why elephants have such a long memory is because 40% of their brain is the hippocampus. The hippocampus, how you pronounce that? Hippocampus, okay. Mm-hmm. Which is significantly larger than ours, especially as it pertains to their brain, our brain. So the bigger your hippocampus, the more space, I guess, you have for the memory. And that part of your memory helps develop the relationships that you have with the people, because, okay, so here goes the theory, Dunbar's numbers. According to Robin Dunbar, you can only have up to a certain number of effective relationships with individuals. His average number is 150 people. That's the average. So in your life, in your lifetime, for you to be effective as a friend, as a family member, you can only have approximately 150 people in your group circle. And with elephants, they've had pods up to 100 to sometimes 200, and they're very close, and they know exactly who each other are. So they
actually articulated the number 50?
150.
Oh, 150.
150. That's what that's the average. That's not like exact.
Because it depends on the size, I would imagine. Because just skimming, it was talking primitively about your brain and the matter in your brain to your social abilities.
That's why I brought up the hippocampus. So if the average number is 150, that means, I was looking at it from a social media standpoint, there's some people that have, because on Facebook the maximum amount is 5,000. You can have 5,000 friends. There's no way in the world you're able to nurture any type of relationship with that many people. It's physically impossible, because the hippocampus, what it allows you to do is remember details of people's lives and things that make them tick, and that builds up the intimacy of it. So if 150
I can't deal with more than one friend at a time.
So what that say about your hippocampus?
Minute.
Yeah, but so I was just kind of thinking about that. It gave me a different kind of perspective, where it gave me a tangible number, because it's a theory, it's not fact. But if he has done the research, I look at it like, do I have 150 people in my circle, in my social circle? Just about. If we put in the church, because I mean in
a social circle, but as far as entertaining them at one certain point, how many max can you entertain?
Well,
that's how I see it.
Let me flip the question. Out of the people that are in your social circle, how many of them do you know details of, including church members? I think it opens up a little bit. Not people who you talk to every day, but people like, I know your favorite color.
You're missing me. Kind of like, say we had a party at the house.
Right.
How many of our friends could we realistically invite, realistically invite and host individually at one point in time?
Because
that's how I see it.
Oh, we can easily fill up 100 people here, but
no.
To make like an intimate contact,
more than that.
Yeah.
But as far as you actually
touching the people,
making your rounds within the party, how many people are you actually going to be able to link with?
No. Well,
that's how I see it in that setting.
It kind of depends on how long I got, because I was a part of a football team, and we had upwards of 60 people on the team, 80 people including staff. But every single practice you touched with every individual? No.
Okay.
No.
You get my point?
Right.
And how long is an average practice for football?
2 hours.
Okay, so within a 2 hour time frame, you couldn't get to 80 people. 60, 80 people, however many.
Well, so that's just in practice, but we're not talking about before practice, training after practice, like for.
No, I'm saying within one specific time frame, because you got to understand.
No, I'm not going to touch
if he did research, he had to have a time frame.
Right.
He did this research. If I'm looking at it correctly.
Yeah, no, because the one part. So let me give you the other side of it. I didn't want to get into the anthropology. How you say that with the ICAL? Anthropological side of it. I didn't want to get on that side, but the purpose of it was to show that from an evolution standpoint, if we're sharing resources and we're sharing an actual land space, well, realistically, you're not gonna you can't have a family members of 5, 6, 7, 800 people and still, you know, in different space. So there had to be a reasonable science to, okay, per this area hold so many people, and to work and function as a family, we need that. You know what I mean? To make this work.
I think you need to revisit that theory so you can be more descriptive in your detailing.
Okay, let's go Bible. Abraham and Lot. Lot had how many people with him when he finally separated from Abraham? Like
3?
4. No, a little bit more.
Two daughters. I can't talk today. 2 daughters and his wife.
See, he had his wife, he had his kids, he had his servants, he had his flock.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
So they separated from Abraham, but
you're talking about Abraham or Lot?
Lot separated from Abraham.
Okay.
I'm talking about Lot.
Oh, I was talking about when he left Sodom and Gomorrah.
That was a he left.
See, you need to be specific.
In the beginning, I said when Lot separated from Abraham, how many people did Lot have? Did I not say that? Okay. So
more coffee, please.
So when he separated, obviously in the beginning, Lot and Abraham, this is what explains the principle. Lot and Abraham could not live together because there wasn't enough resources per the area with both their families together. So to be effective as a family, they had to split apart. He takes a portion of the land, somebody else take a portion of the land.
Yeah.
Now the Bible does articulate.
That's where then they articulate, like Ham was the dark one and blah, blah, blah was this person. Like each
that's
one
had... Noah's son, baby. Oh, what you're saying is that the 3 sons separated and they got their own
as far
pieces.
As the separation.
Oh, absolutely. Great point. Take it further.
Because that's how the lineages came about.
With
particular traits.
That's all that principle, that theory is explaining. And so that's the anthropological side of it. But like I said, I dealt more with the social side where it's like, okay, now that I have a number of how many people I touch and I think about how many people do I know intimate details about, I think I do pretty well in terms of like, I remember random things about people. And then I do forget like certain things that you're supposed to know. Like people.
Their name.
I do forget folks' name, and that's so embarrassing. Who was it this week? I had to ask you. Somebody who I see every week. I couldn't remember her name. Virginia Pointer.
At the church.
The church. She was actually
ministering.
Preaching.
We talk to her every week.
And I could not remember her name. And I don't know why that happens with me. Because that happens with me quite often. Elder Moore. I used to get mad, but now I get it now. Because every time he talks to me, he has to... brother, and he has to 1001, 1002, 1003.
That's called being old.
So yeah, he
I guess with every loss of melanin, you lose a piece of memory too.
Bill, stop shooting shots against me. It's not right. It's not right. So yeah, so we did, and I brought a theory because today we're going to be talking about a lot of science, not sciencey, but a lot of information in terms of knowledge. And speaking of knowledge and learning stuff, what is it that we're going to be talking about?
Well, today's episode, everybody, we will be discussing some of the strangest festivals around the world, and all the craziness that goes along with it.
Let's be somewhat culturally sensitive. It's not crazy, just different from what we...
No, some of them, they're founded on particular culture and historical things.
Right.
But as far as an outsider looking in, we would classify them to be strange or different. Of course, because we don't celebrate them. Everything that's not like us,
if I was
we deem strange.
Listen, if I was to be completely honest, and I said that to be politically correct for our sensitive listeners, but I do agree with your first term. Yeah, they got some crazy. For you to get butt naked to catch a stick for the sake of good luck.
Jumping over babies.
Jumping over babies. crazy, deranged,
are worshiping phallus shrines.
Penises. Okay, all them big words, Bell. Folks don't know what phallus is. That's a penis, right? Phallus?
Well, I was trying to break them in softly.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You know?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Hawk&Bel podcast on YouTube, produced by 30 Parkwood. We'll be listening to some music, and after that, we'll be right back.
Oh my word. 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 Filthy, 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 blah. Filthy, 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 raw. Filthy, 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 blah. Filthy, 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 y'all. Yeah, I don't like potato salad, no. This my jam, yeah. Put this on a sandwich, yeah. Peanut butter flour, extra chunky, yeah. So excited, Humpty Dumpty, yeah, I got some yolks. Giggle, giggle, Grandpa type of flow. Wrinkle, wrinkle, You know that my punt game is strong. Pineapples on pizza, no, that's just wrong. My reflection doesn't like me, so I spend my time on IG posting pictures of my Nikes and the food I'm about to digest, yo. Jesus said he loves me, Satan told me that I'm garbage. Now the flow is extra filthy, no, that really shouldn't be alarming. Look, I got plenty baggage, yo. That vacation type of flow, I'm about to travel, yo. All I see are my mistakes. Turn this up if you can relate. But he washed me with his blood. This that tumble dryer type of faith. Now I'll never ever be the same. Oh my word. 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 Filthy, 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 blah. Filthy, 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 raw. Filthy, 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 blah. Filthy, 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 y'all. Yeah. This that fire instrumental. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I'm bending the flow, kinda like a pretzel. Jalapeno type of message. Ooh, yeah. Fire, top of that fire. Hope you get it. Yeah, Jesus Christ is on me. Yeah, I'll make some changes. Working on my exterior, cause my inside is X-rated. Couldn't fix me if you want it, cause my problems, they got problems. Put my life into your speakers, cause you know it's speaking volumes. I got plenty damage, don't care if you like me, purchased by the blood, yeah, that's kinda pricey, I just want that freedom, only found in Jesus, you should cash a code, why you cashing feelings, take a trip out to Dubai, cause you tired of living life, now you fishing for them likes, cause your soul is on the line, you the company you keeping, Jesus Christ the CEO, hope you feel it, bars. Oh my word, 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 oh my word. Filthy, 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 blah. Filthy, 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 raw. Filthy, 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 blah. Filthy, 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 y'all.
Let it hit 'em.
Hey, this is Rihanna.
Check this out, this is Puff Daddy. Hi, this is Usher. What's up, everybody? I'm Eminem. What up, it's your boy Jay-Z.
You're now listening to
the Hawk&Bel podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
You're listening to the Hawk&Bel podcast. I am Hawk, and again to my right we have
Lady Bell.
in the building. As she described in our introduction, we're going to talk about festivals around the world. Strange festivals, weird festivals, stuff. You know, human beings, if we look at it from the
anthropological.
So it is that way. Because if it's not, I'm just going to be sounding crazy. I'll be the dumb one. We're going to look at every... Why? What's the purpose?
Yes, let's Let's just make up words.
Yes. We're going to be dealing with a lot of anthropology in terms of the development of human culture and just stuff that some stuff I found to be actually very fun in terms of the festivals. Like, it may have started one way, but as it developed in contemporary times or today's time, the way they carry out tradition, I think, is pretty cool. For example, in Nigeria, this isn't one of the festivals, but it's just off the top of my brain. I forgot the name of the festival, but all the men from the villages in a certain area come together and they go out to the river, and whoever they pretty much have a fishing tournament. The catch is you have to use your bare hands to catch a fish, and whoever catches and whoever catches the biggest fish gets the prize. Guess what the prize is?
A fish. I mean, they caught it.
That's not the prize. The prize is a young wife. So,
I don't want to touch you after you've been fishing.
Well, Belle, if a man knows how to fish, obviously he knows how to provide for his family, so it just kind of makes sense. I don't know if that's the reason why. I'm just
That's
kind of.
what Mr. Wendell said. Teach a man to fish.
Oh, Mr. Wendell. Yeah. Oh, he really did. I wonder if that's where that came from. That idiom.
No, your roots, sir.
Hey, speaking of, well, we'll get there. Remember you was talking about idioms and where it comes from?
Idioms.
What'd I say?
Idioms.
Okay. Remind me when we get there. We're not there yet. Remind me to get there, because I did some looking up in American idioms and just looking at the history of it. Anyway, so our first festival, which one I want to bring up? Let's talk about Night. I thought you would like this festival. This is called the Night of the Radish. The Night of the Radish honors the winter.
Sounds bitter.
Actually, you're not going to eat these radishes. I'll tell you why. It honors the winter solstice, and it's treated like an art gala. In December 23rd, 1897, it was a means to attract people to the market, and it eventually turned into a competition. So, in other words,
is that Japanese?
No.
Okay.
This was in Mexico. Now I'm gonna spell it. You will know how to pronounce this better than I can. That X throws me off. Oaxaca. I know you've heard the city before.
Hugs and kisses. XOXOXO.
Yeah. See, to our Mexican listeners, we're sorry. I'm sorry. Don't blame her.
Spell it again. I can't just spell it out of thin air.
AXUA.
That ain't Mexican. That's part of their native.
It's in Mexico. I looked it up.
It is in Mexico, but you got to understand the history of Mexico. There's a lot of Native Mexicans as far as indigenous people. This is an indigenous pronunciation.
Well, that the name of that city.
Oaxaca is how I would say it.
They said it. I watched the video. That's not exactly how they did it. That, like I said, the X threw me off, but they said it in a Spanish dialect, so that's why I figured you probably could figure it out. But anyway, that's the name of the city. And so what they did, because they had
I'm not Mexican. Let me remind you.
It's the language, Bill.
No, I'm not Mexican. Get it straight, sir.
So the people bought the radishes okay, so it was abundance of radishes. They would take the local farmers would take the radish, carve it up, and make little different statues and beautiful elements, and they'll put it out for tourists to come out, and the tourists will be attracted to it, and they'll buy it from the market. And then it became a competition, farmers against other, who can carve better, and it just kept progressively getting bigger, and the festival got bigger. And so then the government ended up because they had a little plot of land where they would grow these radishes. The government came in, bought the land, and made it official. And they allowed these radishes to be cultivated there. But what I didn't know is that if the radish gets to a certain height or a certain build, they become inedible. You can't consume them. And they did that on purpose. They allowed them to stay in the ground longer so that they can be better. You can shape them better in terms of carving it up. And what they did, this is the cool part, at the end of the festival, well, two things. With these radishes, because once you start cutting into them, they begin dying immediately. You got like 2 or 3 hours before they start turning brown and getting soggy. So they spray water on them, of course, to keep them fresh. But what they do is, once they carve them up, people come in and buy them as a decoration for a centerpiece for Christmas, because it's like 3 or 4 days out.
Okay, if you said as soon as you start carving them, how are they going to survive to Christmas?
That was the part I was a little confused about. They have ways of preserving it for a little while. But so if the festival's at December 23rd and Christmas is on December 25th, they make a way. You know what I mean? So it's pretty dope. If you want to learn more information, that's it. The Radish. What's it called? Night of the Radish. That's one of the festivals.
Night of the Radish.
So what do you got?
So let's talk about the Kanamara Matsuri, aka Festival of the Steel Phallus, aka Fertility Festival or Penis Festival.
The Penis Festival.
It's
about time we celebrate men's penises. Celebrate that, Bill. Join the revolution.
Vic, if you're listening, I want a penis trophy from this festival. So I need
Hold on, wait a minute. Do you know how crazy that sounds just now?
Wait.
You're asking Vic to bring you a penis trophy? Really? Do you know how crazy that sounds?
You gotta listen. You don't even know what this is about.
Bill, you're asking another man for his penis trophy.
No, not his.
That's exactly what you just said.
No, I said I need him to go to Kawasaki City and bring me back a trophy, souvenir, whatever, from this thing.
Why do you want a trophy or a statue of another penis?
Okay, whatever. Let's get into it. It's celebrated the first Sunday in April every year. And basically, the start of the festival is initiated with the priest blessing the participants of this festival. And the participants basically walk down the roads and around carrying these ginormous, huge penises. One of them is a black penis. One of them is a pink penis. And I forgot, the other one's like a wooden penis. And basically, they go around with these shrines and chanting and stuff until they return back to the original shrine. Now, where rice, meat, fruits, and veggies or whatever are put in, are placed for the gods, I guess you would say.
Right.
Are offered to the gods and then placed in the fire. The purpose of all this is to ignite the fire, is what they say. And what they mean with igniting the fire, of course, is basically for fertility. But also what is really significant and what it's rooted in is because back in the day, women used to go to these shrines and offer up prayers. And the prayers were for to ask for babies or for healing of STDs or from AIDS or even for victims. And that's the significance or the basis of that as far as the fertility. The intent anyways were very sacred. And that's one of the things that when I had seen a video on this that they wanted to keep. It's not just about a bunch of dancing penises around the street or whatever, but that's what makes it fun. It is a fun festival. They also do have art competition where they carve radishes into penises. Shout out to the radish. Made a second appearance. Yeah, it's called a daikon cutting contest or whatever, and they shape them to different sizes and things like that.
So I heard a story within the Japanese culture of this particular town that celebrates the penis. And this is like a side hustle in terms of, or a side story, why the penis came about. And it said that it was a tribute. It was a woman who had sex with two men. I don't know the backstory of that. I'm just kind of the overall history. And this woman had a demon in her vagina. And so the two dudes went in and the demon bit off their penises. So they had to come back. They got a metal penis, carved it up, put it on them, and inserted it into her vagina. And the demon, the objective was the demon to bite onto the metal penis to break its teeth so that it wouldn't be able to do that to anybody else anymore. And that
sounds like that contraceptive they try to implement at one point
in Africa. It actually did. It's alive and active. It's a type of condom where if a guy go in, it hooks on.
It locks onto the penis. Yeah.
But so that was the celebration of the big metal penises, and it broke the teeth of the demon, and that's what it is. You know what? We could actually do a whole episode. I'm just thinking things out loud. You don't realize there's a lot of festivals that revolve around penises.
I believe it. I mean, it's definitely a fertility symbol.
Yo.
But the thing is, with the penises in this festival, as far as souvenirs and stuff, you also have vaginas and stuff. I mean, some of the artwork that I saw in souvenirs that the locals make and design for this festival are like so cool.
Well, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was in 29 Palms, and I had a brother who was, forgive me if I give your ethnicity wrong, either he was from Thailand. He was from Thailand. And I got two stories in him. But the story, he had this statue that he had in his barracks. And it was a little small statue, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 5 or 6 inches tall. But it had a penis sticking out of it that was like 12 inches long and really, really thick. And the penis was like 3 times bigger than the actual statue.
Yeah, men tend to over-exaggerate when it comes to their penises.
First of all, don't ever look at me like that. I have never lied on mine. But he told me the significance, and long story short was that it was the fertility is celebrated in his culture, and that statue was supposed to be a statue of fertility.
Well, I think fertility is probably celebrated in all cultures because the cultures wouldn't exist or keep thriving if fertility wasn't at the forefront of that community culture. That's how you ensure that your lineage continues.
The curious thing is this guy himself was about 5'3", and he's a really tiny guy himself. So I wonder, to your joke, if there is some insecurities there in terms of, because I've never seen a really big,
as far as him personally dealing with certain things.
Yeah,
could be. But I mean, in this situation, it had nothing really to do with the men per se. It was the women that established this ritual, and they were doing that, and the penis is celebrated.
You don't think the penis is a symbol of power, of authority?
Yeah, but why would the females then go to pray?
Because it's
Lord, please bless my husband to shoot me a good one. Is that what you're gonna do?
No. The penis, it's the physical symbol of all things powerful in a patriarchal society, and so the women bought into that. And in this culture, I'm just kind of
I can see that.
Because unfortunately, all around the world, that's how men have set themselves up to be a symbol of da-da-da. So what's the best part of men? What's that documentary you and I saw about the dude saying that women, the tribe
took all his life force?
He said that when they ejaculate into a woman, the woman takes all of his life force. Yeah. It was a tribe in Australia. It wasn't the Aborigines, but I think there was an offshoot.
But it was an indigenous
people in that area. It may have been in New Zealand too. Just somewhere in that. So there's this aligning towards men penises and symbols of authority and power. So yeah, you got anything else for that
one? Nope.
And what's the name of that festival again?
Kanamara Matsuri.
I'm not going to try it. Shout out to it. Well, my next festival is called, and it's right here locally in the United States. It's called the Burning Man. You ever heard of it?
Nope.
It's a festival. If I was to give a really, really short concept of it, I when you think of Burning Man, just think about a bunch of hippies. Woodstock on times 10. But what's really dope is what Burning Man ended up turning into. When it started out with a guy. I
personally don't get a good image when I hear that, but
okay. I can understand why. It started with a guy named Lee Harvey, who, with him and a couple of his buddies in San Francisco, they went to a beach and they would camp out and they would build an effigy, which is like a 9-foot man, literally man, and they would burn it. At the same time, in Blackwood, Nevada, a different group, totally separate, had nothing to do with them, had a gathering in what they call a dry lake. So I guess it was a lake that didn't have any water. But they weren't allowed to burn anything, so they would build their own little statue, and then at the end of their gathering, they would take a chainsaw and chop it all down.
Build it up to chop it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. It's really artsy fartsy.
Were these men?
Mixed. It was mixed.
Men and women.
Yeah. It was a mix. It was started by men, but women was present and all that. I see where you're going with this. So it ended up this small gathering ended up becoming a very big gathering where people took on their own ideas of what this encampment represented for them. And so when you look at the images, people go there butt naked, like they're literally walking around in the desert. They don't wear clothes, they don't comb their hair, nobody's taking showers. And the idea, one, there's a lot of performance art that's going on. So like everything has symbolism.
A lot of psychedelics.
A lot of, think of that. All that is going on.
I see it. That's the only way you could do it. Any other person that does it belongs to the military.
And so there's not necessarily drugs involved, but the idea is to be free from consumership, to be free from the influence of the world. You're not allowed to bring your cell phone.
Free from showers.
Free from anything that's causing you to be held back psychologically. You're not, be free to be creative. Surprisingly, a lot of CEOs go to the Burning Man to refresh themselves and
de-stress.
Get away from that.
I can see that.
There are 10 principles that are revolved around Burning Man: radical inclusion, gifting, decomification.
What is that?
Decomification is you're not allowed to bring any sponsors or commercial items. So you will not find a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, a Burger King, Nike. They're not allowed.
They just eat random rabbits.
This is dope. No, this is where the principle of gifting comes in. People bring their own items, but you're not allowed. Oh, that's nothing. You're not allowed to use money. You gift.
So it's like a barter system.
It's something a barter system, but you choose your bartering, and usually you barter with a hug, a kiss, a handshake.
Oh yes.
It's about,
what else? I imagine.
I'm trying to, in the truest sense of the form, what they're trying to do is build a pure community. The sex part, I'm sure, is there, but I don't think that was the intent of them doing that. You know what I mean? And so when I say hippie, I don't mean to misrepresent anybody part of that, but that's just what I think of. A couple of other principles: radical self-reliance, radical self-expression, which is, they're really big on that. Communal efforts, civic responsibility. They're not allowed leaving no trace, meaning when it's time to leave, they don't leave their trash everywhere. Everybody picks up. Participation and immediacy. Immediacy is their number one principle, and which means you have to be in the moment. We're not thinking, we're responding, and you're allowed to just respond.
Very impulsive.
You're allowed to be that. Just be that. Be in the moment. Let your creativity take over. So
that's pretty dangerous.
Well, Burning Man's not for everyone.
Well, I'm just thinking about me being present. Yeah, that's very dangerous.
Because you're not supposed to have any boundaries or limits.
Exactly.
You're supposed to just live right there. And then so if you're butt naked and you're living in the moment and people it's just supposed to go. Only that's why I say hippies and all that other stuff.
Do couples go to this?
I don't know. I'm sure they do. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not supposed to be a big orgy. That's not how. Because I know somebody who went there, and that's not.
No,
how
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that because when you let go,
right,
and allow yourself to be that free, sometimes the people that you're with aren't going to be so receptive to what they see or encounter or experience.
Well, people who go to Burning Man, there's already an expectation, and so I imagine because nobody's going there to be. You can't be stiff-legged or stiff-lipped and be in this environment. It's not for that. So you wouldn't even expose yourself if you was that person. So I imagine if a couple goes there, they're going there to practice these things and really immerse. I think for Burning Man to be effective, you have to buy into these principles and buy into that. Oh, and this is what I was saying in terms of the development of this festival. Now they have their own scholarship meaning they have their own academic teaching these principles, and like they're building it up to actually have a meaning behind it. And so I thought that part was dope. They're not teaching or preaching anything that is crazy. However, like the origins of it was a celebration of the summer solstice, and it does have elements of, to me, witchcraft in terms, because at the end of this, the reason why they call it Burning Man is that they do end up building this big man, and they burn it down, which was a reflection of a movie that actually, this is what witches actually do. They burn effigies, they burn symbol, because it's a symbolism of whatever it is that you put a meaning behind it. So, you know, I don't like that part of
sacrifice.
it. Yes, I don't know why I didn't think about it, but it's a little further than sacrifice, but it's a type of sacrifice, absolutely. So that's burning.
Sacrificing basically that old person.
Probably
is how I would see it.
Yeah,
you're burning that old person and taking on a new mindset.
Surprisingly, a lot of people who go to this festival do say that when they come back, because you're not only are you unplugged in terms of your cell phone, social media, and all that, you're around a bunch of people, and there's just nothing but creativity flowing everywhere. People turn their cars into works of art. People take trash around, and they like it's. I gotta show you pictures after the episode. It's crazy. It like
sounds interesting
from a creative standpoint. Absolutely. So that's the Burning Man.
Cool. I'm going to talk about the Baby Jumping Festival, or El Colacho, which is a festival that's done in the province of Burgos in Spain. It's annual Catholic-based festival where like men, like picture this, grown men dress up in these little costumes as little devils.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So
did you see any of the costumes?
Yeah.
So describe what it looked like, because devil can look different in different cultures.
Well, whatever I guess they create to be a devil.
Okay. Got it.
So these little men dressed in devils, you see them leaping like crazy all on the streets. But what are they leaping over? They're leaping over little babies that have been lined up in rows on the street, right? They're the kids that were born the year prior.
Hey, yo.
Right? So they're jumping over these little babies or whatever. But the intent is to clean them.
It's supposed to be a purifying ritual.
Yeah, to clean them of sin.
Hey, yo. Okay, I'm away.
And it dates back to the 1600s. And just before they give them back to their parents that are probably like cringing and praying to the gods, please save my child from being stomped on, they sprinkle them with petals, rose petals. Say, here you go.
So, did you see a video of them doing this?
No, I didn't watch the video. I saw the pictures.
I did see the video.
I didn't care to see the videos personally. The problem, there's so many things that's wrong with this, but the biggest problem that I had, they don't choose the most athletic people to jump over these kids. Well,
Bill, one dude, like, because they do.
They say that nobody has been injured, but it is also said that the Pope wants this ritual to be done with.
It's stupid.
He doesn't want this to happen, but this little town, they refuse to give up the ritual.
We should talk about that, why traditions are so strong in religious circles. But what they did is they set up these infants, these babies. I think they set them up in like rows of 5.
Yeah, in rows.
And so they jump over the first set of babies, sprint a couple steps. It's like hurdling. They're hurling over 5 steps.
Even the most athletic person, you can get somebody that's an Olympian, but they're gonna get tired.
Okay, so to your point, this first dude, Bell.
I don't need my baby beat.
That baby that's at the end.
Man, they missed the mark. So what happens when the baby gets stomped on? Their sins, what? cleansed away.
Okay.
They get stomped on.
Let's take this a step further. Let's take your point. In the video that I saw, like I said, this dude was not athletic at all. He barely cleared the first set of babies. So when he came to the second step, he didn't make it. What he ended up doing was he jumped to the side and started over. So he couldn't clear all 5 babies. So he reached to the.
Instead of doing it the long way, he did it the short way.
He did the diagonal,
horizontally.
Yeah.
He didn't do the whole line.
And he kept on moving, and I was like, oh heck no. Ain't no way in the world. So I was like, so does that mean the 5th baby doesn't get cleansed because he didn't make it?
I don't know. Oh man. But the other thing is that the parents are subjecting these babies to this situation.
I think that was the very first question.
Because if the parents aren't willing to put their baby out on the street, what are they going to do? Put dolls to keep the practice going?
How does it, I don't know.
They allow it, so in my opinion, they're enabling it.
Yeah.
And my thing is that it's a Catholic ritual.
Right.
And then you have the Roman Catholic Pope asking for this ritual not to be done.
He's telling, that's y'all leader. He's telling y'all.
Yeah.
This is not, there's literally, okay, maybe. There's nowhere where people are jumping over people. But I think I don't know, I'm just speaking out loud. There was an instance during the Old Testament. It was practiced where they take a sacrifice, split it in half, and you will walk in between the sacrifice as a covenant. That means you and I are in a relationship. Abraham did that with God. Abraham took a sacrifice, split it, and it was say, hey God, when God said I was going to make a covenant with you forever and your family, that's what God did.
What's that got to do with babies?
What I'm saying is that maybe they took that principle and applied it to this in terms, maybe not. I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to make sense of it.
No.
I'm trying to make sense of it.
Far-fetched.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
They are jumping over babies dressed in costumes of devils.
Well, before you go to your next festival, let me ask you this question. Why do you think, and I'm purposely saying religions because we don't have to narrow down, and I'm not bashing Christianity and stuff like that, or any denomination. What's so important about specifically traditions that are not biblically based? Why do we hold on to it? In your opinion, there's no right or wrong answer. Just kind of.
A lot of people establish culture in those different things.
Okay.
I think maybe sometimes they start out one way and maybe lose their meaning and end up in a different way, but still the same ritual, quote unquote, supposedly just doesn't have the same meaning. And because we in Puerto Rico too, in Loíza, when they dance with the mask and stuff.
Loíza has the strong African heritage in Puerto Rico.
And you've seen the masks.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
They're supposed to be scary though, to scare away the bad spirits and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine kind of within this festival, that's kind of like the same thing.
Okay.
With the little devils and stuff. And even though nowadays we don't really believe, like in Puerto Rico, in those rituals necessarily, maybe some people do, maybe some people don't, the tradition is still kept, the masks are still made because it symbolizes a part of culture that has existed or that has created some kind of niche within the island as far as representing who we are.
And so in my short answer in terms of why, and I did ask why in religion, but I kind of want to I open up to culture. Why traditions are important to culture is that it brings a sense of structure and people are comfortable in it.
It can, but it can also alienate too when you're moving forward.
There are traditions that it explicitly does that, but even the people who are alienated, for example, going back to Africa, there's certain villages where they practice the circumcision of females. Detrimentally, it damages the females sometimes irreversibly, and yet they willingly submit themselves to that because it's always been done that way. They don't have my viewpoint. They don't, because they're not from my culture.
Typically, though, from what I understand, because the girls are so young when this happens, it's the parents that submit their children to this.
Well,
so the girls don't really have a say in this.
Yeah, they do. Maya Angelou, in her book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, she discussed her. I read other books, but specifically her account when she went to Africa on a mission situation, and in one village she did try to reverse this practice, and she convinced this one family, husband, wife, and daughter, because she got to the age, I think it was like 12, 13, don't let your daughter go and get circumcised. She was coming up on a ritual. Now, I guess all the girls at that age group go at the same time. And so the parents agreed, nope, she's not going to do it. Of course, that alienated the family. When it came time for the ritual,
I think it's probably the strength of numbers in that situation, and they're not the ones, because aren't the girls, if I remember correctly, it's been so long since I've looked at that, but the girls are sent away.
No, the boys are sent away for man training.
No. Once they had this procedure, they can't be around the village until they've healed.
I don't know about, it's different practices for depending on where you're from. But in this particular instance, the parents consented to hold their daughters back not to get circumcised, but the girls snuck out, and she ended up being with the girls, ended up getting circumcised. The parents didn't know. They was looking for her, couldn't find her, and then she went. So the girl, young girl, because the girl didn't want to be different than the rest of her peer group.
Yeah, peer pressure.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. So
I totally get that, but
that's the tradition.
I wonder if she felt the same way after the pain. Because it's not like they put anesthetics on these girls.
I saw another documentary where, shout out to females, man, like y'all got it bad.
I've met one person that's had that done.
I don't know if I met anybody who's been circumcised. But I saw a documentary where part of the courting ritual, one guy comes from the village and all the females of another village meet him like on a beach, and they literally whip themselves on their back with some type of whip, and it cuts up their skin, and I forgot what that represented. In some way that's supposed to be a sign of attraction. Yeah, it's a sign of attraction, and then a guy picks.
I know in the Middle East they have something similar, but it's more of a cleansing.
You and I watched that one. That was completely separate. Those extreme Islamic cats that the sharper the knives and the more they bleed, the more they sacrifice themselves to Allah. Yeah, all that. So even that, you can include that into this conversation. People purposely mutilating themselves, and I'm sure, of course, it doesn't feel good. I know they know it doesn't feel good, yet I think they find comfort in that tradition. I feel they feel comfort in that structure.
I mean, we could say that, but then again, in America, we practice different forms of that. Look at modern day foot binding. You could probably relate it to chicks,
which is illegal now.
Girls, well, foot binding in Asia, okay, but here in the U.S. as Americans, the modern day foot binding,
stilettos,
exactly, the stilettos and the pointy heels and stuff.
Okay,
you don't think that deforms the girls' feet sometimes? That's why you see folks with bunions and their toes all looking crooked.
But men don't find that attractive. Versus
men don't have a problem finding that attractive when the girls are young. Now, once their feet are deformed later on in life, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But I don't know of any man that's not appreciative of a chick wearing heels. Oh, it defines their legs, their calves, their this, their
because
that.
We don't know what you all go through. I'm only sensitive to that, of course, being married to a female, but when I was currently in church, all y'all take off y'all shoes when y'all hit the church. Y'all wearing those high heels. I'm saying y'all. I'm just saying females in general. Me. They're taking their shoes off and they're wearing these fancy and cute shoes. I'm like, yo.
Not only that, but what it's doing to your spine and to your kidneys. You know, a lot of people don't look into that, or if they do have that knowledge, they dismiss it. And
so what you're saying is that they're literally putting their health on the line for the sake of looking cute.
I got a grandmother with 6 screws in her back right now because she had to have the stilettos. A teacher working 6-8 hour days with the highest heels that she could possibly wear. Because
don't the heels also represent a type of professionalism, and it brings a sense of authority because it makes you taller?
Well, I don't know how many teachers you know nowadays that are going to work in 3-4 inch stilettos.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that.
You know, but back then that was, I guess, more of an expectation.
The professional
of a
pumps.
female. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and even nowadays, though, you see a girl that has some flat shoes versus a girl that has some stilettos.
I can dig it.
You know, as far as a job interview, who are you more inclined to look at and consider to look professional?
All right. Well, we're going to take another break, and then we'll do how many more festivals after this? 1, 2?
I was just going to do one more.
Okay, so we'll take a break, and we'll do one more festival, and then what's the redeeming value of all this? Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Hawk&Bel podcast on YouTube, produced by 30 Parkwood. I am Bel. That's exactly what I'm Hawk.
Can you tell us late?
Yeah, I'm Hawk.
I'm Bellarama.
And we'll be right back. Okay. So you ready to go for the last one?
Yeah, we're rambling a lot, by the way.
Nope. Doing good.
Yeah, I'm going to do that loincloth one because it's like, I think you can bring a lot of comedy to this one.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Hawk&Bel podcast, and Bel has one more festival to go over as we're discussing, you know, weird and crazy festivals all across the world. What's that festival called?
Folks, please forgive me because
forgive us.
Another Japanese festival, Saidaiji Iyo Hadaka Matsuri. I know I said the Matsuri.
I just every time, like, I'm sorry, Japanese folks, this might be stereotypical of me, but every time I hear a Japanese word, I just that loud gong, and then somebody hi.
No. No. Unacceptable.
Boom.
Who's culturally sensitive now?
Anyway, but that word Matsuri, I see it on a lot of restaurants. What does that word mean? You looking at me with the deer eye look.
No, because I was gonna say penises.
Wow.
But
penis.
Well, I think it is because in the other festival too, in the penis festival, it's the Kanamari Matsuri. I think it is penis though. It relates to that. But like I said, in the bigger picture, it's not just about the penis. I think it's more of the fertility aspect.
Matsuri is a festival, Bel.
No, the word.
The word.
The meaning of the word.
It's festival. So whatever.
So then the Kanamara Matsuri means Kanamara is penis.
I don't know what don't get me lying to you.
No.
But the Matsuri is supposed to be a interpretation of a type of festival.
Oh, okay. My bad,
Japanese
peoples.
festival.
My bad.
Yeah.
You need to do more research. Thanks, Greg.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we got 9,000 dudes. Okay.
9,000.
9,000.
When you say dudes, are you talking about
men?
Straight men with penises?
I don't know. They straight. Because you got 9,000 men, right, wearing loincloths, right, struggling fiercely, aka fighting with one another over a pair of lucky sacred sticks.
Hold up.
4 centimeters in diameter.
Hold up, Bel. You're going too fast. 9,000 men.
9,000 men.
In they draws.
In this region right here are like in these draws, right, butt cheeks out.
What, fighting for a literal?
Fighting for these sticks.
A literal
okay,
stick.
You got 4 centimeter diameter and 20 centimeters long. There's 4 sticks that are thrown out into the crowd. But check this out. The priests are probably fearing for their lives, of course, all these men fighting, right? So they throw them out, not while being within the crowd area themselves, but from a window.
Yeah, about 4 meters up. Yeah, I heard about that.
They throw them from a window, right? So the lucky man gets a hold of this stick, or any of these sticks or whatever. The shinji?
Spell it.
SHING.
Okay.
Which is this basically those sticks or whatever. That's what they call them.
Okay.
Right. What they're supposed to do is catch them and then they thrust them upright into the matsu, which is like a wooden box loaded with rice.
Okay.
Right. They get blessings for a year.
Okay. It's part of like good luck and all that.
Yeah, they're blessing us of happiness for a year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And those that don't catch those lucky bigger sticks, they throw 100 bundles of willow strips out.
Oh, so that was the hardest part.
But wait, right? Most festivals, well, no, not most festivals. Let me not say it like that. So you got 9,000 men, loincloth, fighting for sticks, right?
Right.
This is at midnight, once the lights go out.
Oh, so it's two things I didn't know. One, so a bunch of grown men reaching for something they can't see.
They can't.
Is that a stick?
Right? Right?
Is this a stick? Why is it so soft? Nope, can't do it.
That's what I said,
9,000 men fighting for something that they can't see. Are we really fighting for the sticks? I'm sorry, I thought that. No, dude.
Well, I mean, if you did catch a stick, how are you gonna know you threw it into that box? It's night
so
time. It's at night.
So you don't take I thought it was your own private box that you take the stick with you and you take it home and you stick it in the rice. So it's all
there's like a box out there that's set up loaded with rice, and your goal is to get one of these sticks. If you can keep it long enough within your hands, people fighting you for it,
right?
And thrust it up into this box of rice.
Toss it. It's kind of like what we do with water fountains when we toss pennies.
What men do to women? Yeah.
What men do to women? What?
Thrust in, thrust up?
No, Belle. I was talking about a quarter, a penny, tossing them into the water fountain.
No. No, because you got to do it like it's like high up.
All right, because I'm really intrigued now. So I got the stick. I'm butt naked. But nobody knows I got the stick because it's nighttime.
You elbowing folks off of you know? Bam, bam.
So I got to make my way to this box of rice.
To the box. Yeah, the masu.
So by the time I get to the masu, I'm not.
You're gonna thrust the stick upright.
Thrust it up.
Am I letting into this box?
All right, so I'm tossing it into the rice.
Kind of like a javelin.
Got it. Yeah. So it's just like tossing a coin into the water fountain for good luck. You never done that?
Yeah, I have, but you usually toss down into the water, not up into the box.
You never did your thumb and flicked it and...
Not that fancy.
That's the fun part of doing it. So, okay.
I just like the ripples in the water.
So, yeah, I'm sure they must have like some torches lit or something like that. Like,
no, as soon as the lights are turned off at midnight.
That is nuts to me. I wouldn't even feel like luck.
Who's gonna know really if they got it in the box? First of all,
that's another thing.
Second of all, how do you stop this?
Yeah, how do we? Like, I don't know who has a stick.
Like, do they fight until daybreak or something?
If you're Japanese, let me know.
I didn't look that far into it. I just looked into the actual ritual and the technicalities of it. And
I'm laughing at it because there are elements that are comical in my mind, but to be on the sensitive side. How do you know when it's over with? And with that many men,
9,000.
No, I don't think there's no amount of luck proven to fight. Like, okay, we all have our superstitions, right? We all have our I don't see anybody like I could be the wealthiest businessman in the world, and I couldn't see him saying I attribute that to sticking a stick in the rice, even if you believe in that. Like, it just is. In other words, is it worth that type of thing? Or maybe that's just it's the culture. So this is what's expected of you. You're expected. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for your family. Okay, maybe I'm talking myself into it. All right, I kind of get it now. Because it's not this. I'm thinking it from an American standpoint. For me myself getting ahead. But no, if I represent a family, a culture, a lineage. I'm gonna fight 9,000 men, 8,999 men for that stick, or for a chance of the willow to get it into the right. So I get it. Yeah, it's my sacrifice. I'll fight 8,999 men for you, Bill.
It ain't for me.
Well, for the luck, for the family. If I believed in that,
it's for your personal happiness.
Well, then I'm not doing it.
That's what blessings of happiness for 8.
See, this is the reason why black folks can't do stuff like this. I'm speaking for myself. If you whisper in my ear too close, I'm gonna get offended, and we won't shut this whole luck thing. You better have a stick in your hand currently in your thing, because we're gonna chunk them. We're gonna throw them up. You don't touch me, dude. Like, no, I don't even like going to the mall like that if somebody walk too close. So
yeah, my New York days are over.
Yeah,
I didn't mind back in the day being scrunched up and rubbing side to side folks when we're walking, but I don't feel that same way anymore. I don't like folks being close to me. Especially like with the theft aspect or whatever not.
Did you see the video in China where they have people who are specifically hired to push people into the train?
Yeah.
Yeah, like culturally, I understand there's a big difference. You and I talked about that in Mexico or in other countries outside the United States. They have a different sense of boundaries. There is no such thing as personal space.
There are no personal space boundaries
within
like your everyday walking, commuting here or there. And I get that. I totally get that.
Do you think that's why our neighbors are so nosy? Because she's from a different country and like...
No, that doesn't apply for where she's from.
Yo, I don't know if I told you this. We have a neighbor that's from Germany, and in my backyard, me and my brother-in-law was taking a stump out. And I didn't know she was sitting there at the fence staring at us.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about this. So she's sitting there staring at us. I didn't know this because my back, it was this stump, the little stump. My back is against her, and I use my legs to push it out the hole. And Wilmer was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Because she didn't say nothing. She was sitting there staring at us like, Bill, she got some popcorn. And
yeah, my brother doesn't like folks staring.
Yo, and the way he said, that's what caught my attention. Like, ooh, you kind of aggressive, dude. And when I look back, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because and then she was like, hey.
And she lives like 2 houses down.
She's
2 yards.
She's behind us. Yeah. But the way she was staring intently and she was hanging over the fence. She was very comfortable just staring, watching us work. I guess I don't have a big problem with that. I just didn't feel like, what's so fascinating about seeing this?
Did y'all have clothes on?
Yeah. It was just, like I said, but she does stuff like that. But again, if she's from a different culture, and I've experienced other cultures where...
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's culture or anything.
Well, I've experienced different cultures where they do openly stare, and I'm like, man, this is very uncomfortable the way you're staring at me. But if you don't have a sense of personal boundary, then I guess that does make sense. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just my own sensibility.
No, I think that's her.
Okay. Well,
I really do think it's her. It has nothing to do
I'll be wrong
with her being German or anything of that nature.
All right. So do we have a redeeming value?
Be sensitive.
I agree. Olivia was in here before you came in, and she was talking to me about Druids. Oh no, she watched a video with me of the Monkey Festival. Did you see about that?
No, but shout out to Olivia because she was the one who requested we talk about this.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, Olivia came in and watched the video of the Monkey Festival. It's in Thailand. Long story short, it's a city or a city that brings all their food because the monkeys that are in that area, they believe them to be lucky and that they came from a particular god, a monkey warrior that fought on their behalf, blah, 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 blah. So once a year, they bring all their food and they put it in the middle of the city, and all the monkeys come in and have a feast. And that's what they do. The monkeys are always around, but they dedicate...
That particular day, they do.
They embrace it, and so tourists come and they take pictures, and it's like just monkeys. It's like stray dogs and cats, but a lot more monkeys.
I'd be locked up somewhere, afraid of those monkeys.
But so after you watch,
monkeys could be aggressive now. Them monkeys in Nicaragua were throwing mangoes at the roof.
Hey yo,
man, them things were serious. And then we had to jump on the boat on the little ferry thing before they got to us.
Yeah,
they can be aggressive.
Well, so after we watched the video, I had to explain to Olivia because I don't want her to be like I was growing up and just laughing at anything that's different from what you have been exposed or experienced in your lifetime. So I was like, Olivia, remember that people have different belief systems, and she, Olivia is really mature about it. She's like, oh yeah, I know. I don't believe in that, but that's what they believe, so it's cool, it's fine. And I'm like, man, you better than me. I'm sitting here, I want to giggle right now, but I'm trying to be mature because you around me. So
no, I think it's just fascinating to her.
Yeah, learning about different peoples. So I think that is the redemption value. Usually I try to bring a biblical scripture to explain a certain point, but this is just being a decent human being.
Don't be afraid to embrace somebody else's culture.
Or just embrace
to
people.
Learn about it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just that simple, just to learn about it.
I think this month, I don't know if they're still continuing for Muslims. They are eating. They're fasting right now. And I forgot the name of it. I want to say, I don't know, I'm not gonna pronounce it. But Fatima, who went to Favorite Steak, shout out to you, Fatima. She put me on to this particular religious month and what it means to them and things of that nature. And though I do not practice the Islamic faith, I'm sensitive of that. And so when I'm around another Muslim brother, especially during the daytime, I won't eat around them. I won't mention food because you and I, we have our own fasting days and things like that. And we know how difficult it can be when you're trying to fast, and folks is at work, they bring in, and it seems like that's the time they bring in brownies and cheesecakes and, all these type of things. And so I want to be able to respect your ability and your desire to be a better person. And even though we don't worship the same God, I respect the practice of bettering yourself. And I don't see there's nothing wrong with that. So I wouldn't have known that, though, if I didn't avail myself to her culture and asking questions, and not only what does it mean, but when does these days run and things of that nature. I also had a professor at Fayetteville State University during 2 years ago. She came into our class and brought us some things that were particular to Pakistan, and she was Muslim, and she said one of the things that they had to practice this month, when somebody's hungry, no matter who it is, bring them to the home and feed them, because piety and giving is part of the fasting experience. So, it was really dope. I appreciate that, and it was something for me to, okay, cool. Maybe even I can apply that. I may not be fasting for the same reasons you are, but I love the charitable aspect of that. Exuding
Definitely.
kindness. So, yeah. All right. Last words, Bill.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Your subscription helps us to know that you're listening and paying attention. I'm not going to call out names. We would like to thank those that continuously leaves us little messages. And, you all... Now, Bill, allow me to speak on your behalf on this.
Hello, world.
I will record if nobody was listening, because this is what I love to do. But for Bill, who does not,
just like to listen to yourself talk.
Yeah, some people say that. Bill doesn't come from a broadcast background, so for a lot of stuff, for anybody to feel validated because you're listening to their opinions and giving them your ear, it means a lot. So I want to thank you all who specifically calls out Bells like, hey, I like this perspective, or I appreciate she's next to you in this podcast and giving that. And it means a lot to me.
It does.
Because, like I said, I'll talk with this mic on by myself. I've done that for an hour straight for 12 episodes by myself.
And I'm not a big talker. That's what makes it different too. I'm like forcing myself to have to come outside my comfort zone.
In this platform, you have to do that. So thank you all for encouraging Belle and supporting us in what you do. We love you. We appreciate you. Got nothing else.
World peace.
Or as Olivia says, Star Clam peace.
Whoop.
Exclusive hot new mix. Let's go. 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 Go.
Actually, this is a blessing. Come watch out for us. 40 acres and a mule on me. What? Ain't what the truth for me. I was standing by the view on me. What? My God is due on me. 40 acres and a mule on me. What? Ain't what the truth for me. I was standing by the view on me. What? something real, find it garden needed. Adam failed, let me win. We get caught, I even flip the coin. Heads or tails, 50-50 chances, find the odds to overcome. Ain't no place like Kansas. Mama planted prayers, can I call Flores? I just wanna show you life and how the way I flourish. If it was all up to me, you would've lost my faith. That's why your fruits under that tree was good, for goodness sake.
All I wanna do is still be in love with you. Never let nobody come before you. God, I know your love is so true.
Alright, fruits on your vine, come stand in line. Now, you wanna live? Alright, fruits on your vine, come stand in line. Now, you wanna live? Let it be known, 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 let it be known.
You tell me something, just tell me something I wanna hear. But if I live out of motors, my lesson ain't clear. Walk that plank on me, swim or you sink on me. Can't even think on me, eat no not drink on me. Cold world don't make on me, we call him born sinner. But he changed, new life, he live free. Tell me something I need to know. Whisper in my ear that God lives in me. Yell it out to the whole wide world, some of the fruits of life standing in line. See the truth, plant the soil, real talk, do it for the vine, do it for the vine.
All I wanna do is still be in love with you. Never let nobody come before you. God, I know your love is so true.
Alright, fruits on your vine, come stand in line. Now, you wanna live? Alright, fruits on your vine, come stand in line. Now, you wanna live?
Tell me what it's all about. Told me you were done with going out. Get it high with your friends. Oh, you was kidding now. Every club in the city now. Spending time in the ends. Oh, don't play with me. You said you stay with me. But every day you act unfaithfully. But I stay faithful. I'm still so faithful. Tell me, why you playing games? Tell me, why you playing games now? Why you playing games? Tell me, why you playing games now? Why you playing games? Tell me, why you playing games now? Why you playing games? Tell me, why you playing games? You really need to ease. Hanging in the trap with the bees. You're about to get stumped. You heard me twice. If I said that once, you gotta do it my way. You know it's the right way. Front, sideways, backwards. Looking everywhere but up. But ain't nobody trying to fix your stuff up. I'm the only one to fill your cup up. Why you playing games? You want a mission but you wildin' like you ain't. I gave you vision but you trying to break the frames. Don't wanna listen to the God who made your brain. Instead of preying what I drive, you trace the lanes. You know you're able but you out here raising Cain. Kicking everybody down and taking names. It's your kingdom but it's bound to end in flames. So tell me, why you playing games? Tell me why you playing games now? Why you playing games? Tell me why you playing games now? Why you playing games? Tell me why you playing games now? Why you playing games? Tell me why you playing games? Yeah, this is not Monopoly. It doesn't matter how you roll the dice, he controls the whole board. Know that this is not your property. I'm talking everything under the sun, even what you think's yours. That's what you call sovereignty. The future and your present and your past, all in the Lord's hands, plus the Father's generosity. Gives you his assurance in his word, he won't leave it up to chance. Get it? Why you playing games? Tell me why you playing games.
the purple.
Flick wrist, make the drip go splash. Yeah, I'ma put 100 in the stash. Yeah. My mama want a house on the hills. Yeah. Woo. And I'ma buy it all with cash. Wave Lord, need 100 for a beat. Yeah, I just gotta eat. So I flick wrist, make the drip go splash. Yeah, then I'ma give 100 in the stash. Shit the water when I'm feeling dirty. Keep a beeper like I'm selling Curtis. Usher my top like it's 7 p.m. Open safe when I put the key in. Yeah, I got the remedy. You act like you wanna be kidding me, but really that action show into me. I can tell you what really got into me. All y'all my frenemies, yeah. Only make songs if they heavenly. Test on my arm like it's leprosy. You can't interrupt the legacy. Give me 3 and a wave of necessity, yeah. Every picture show the uniform. He paid a price that I can't afford just to give a wave that you can't ignore. Please don't talk like you know the boy. Used to dribble moves to keep my mind still. 6 a.m. hitting line drills. Not a pen, keep my mind cool. Every 16, keep your eyes peeled. Waving in the water, got my stats up. Team gon' pass out C's. My daddy taught the birds and the bees. I used to pop loud flips, keys. Make the drip go splash. Yeah, I'ma put 100 in the stash. Yeah. My mama want a house on the hills. Yeah. Woo. And I'ma buy it all with cash. Wave Lord, need 100 for a beat. Yeah, I just gotta eat. So I flick wrist, make the drip go splash. Yeah, then I'ma give 100 in the stash. Can't put a cost on it. Holding your noodle, the holiest sauce and nuts. Don't make me dial them up. Down clean the blood when I'm cooking up. Packs on my wrist cause I shoot too much. Blessing come down when the roof is up. All mama want is a Panamera. Till then she can say I ain't do enough. Yeah, now I'm the awesome one. Sauce on the sauciest. Way from the opposite rocket ship. Dirt then got messy like soccer kicks. I just start bossing up, yeah. Ain't no one harder than T. Who said the wave ain't a threat? Ain't no one harder than we. We just go hard in the track. It's like a bird and I'm serving the fiends. Yeah, dope man be listening, P. You touch the people that you wanna reach. Mama told me don't be KD. Switch the team just to get a ring. Slice the homie just to get a piece. On the move, I feel like Indy tried. Iceberg the way the deal flowing. Got me in the trance, you been on my mind. Go splash. Surfboard, yeah. I'ma put 100 in the stash. Yeah. My mama want a house on the hills. Yeah. Woo. And I'ma buy it all with cash. Wave Lord, need 100 for a beat. Yeah, I just gotta eat. So I flick wrist, make the drip go splash. Yeah, then I'ma give 100 in the stash.
It's a mommy at a Oceanside Pier on the 4th of July.
before the drink's gone and the cops roll by. This remind me of a drive in the heat of the sun rays on a Sunday with summertime in Lucchini on repeat. This remind me of my young days with tackle football at the beach, riding waves, rocking a wave cap, trying to keep my rose neat, acting foolish. We'd walk the shore for ladies, going seeking, no one stepping to us, cause me and my bros deep. This remind me of a cold sip on a warm night where the day go, discussing micro brews from San Diego. This remind me of them endless ciphers in a parking lot. And when we say we freestyle, that means it's off the top, no premeditated late night sessions with a potency, cause I'm from North County and we breed some dope MCs. This remind me of a drive in the heat of the sun rays on a Sunday. It was a good day back in the days, both on repeat. This remind me of a backyard boogie and a barbecue. You know you are my loved one if I'm back there trying to argue you. This remind me of a group of skaters tricking candid. I watch they bring me joy even though they seem to never land it. This remind me of a group of 50s standing up short to watch the homie baptized. Now 50s in an uproar. This remind me of a drive in the heat of the sun rays on a Sunday with summertime in Lucchini on repeat. This is it, what? I've got so much loving inside, my soul is buzzing. I can't hold my loving, now I gotta walk it, now I gotta walk it out. I've got so much loving inside, my soul is buzzing. Talk a little, live the motto, walk a little, give a lot of. Now I gotta walk it, now I gotta walk it. I let my feet speak truth to those who ever got a clue, because one act of love is worth 1,000 words I rap to you. Yeah, 1,000 words I rap to you. One act of love is worth 1,000 words I rap. I let my feet speak truth to those who haven't got a clue, because one act of love is worth 1,000 words I rap to you. Yeah, 1,000 words I rap to you. One act of love is worth 1,000 words I rap. And I'll be honest, us artists, we use so many words yet we say so little. I aim to be the opposite. I know I met you by the ocean, but let me take you to a palace of stars. Come on, yeah, galaxy bars. You're the black Sulu is back. Who knew I'd be that next rap guru? In fact, you can Google this cat. I teach a love based on actions, but oftentimes I'm frugal with that. Like the time I met a man with no shoes and tried to give him mine, but next thing he blew my mind as he respectfully declined, cause all he really wanted to get from me's a way to pass the time. And what I do know is that when he asked me, hey yo, you got a way to play this music? I got a pair of headphones, but ain't no way to use it. Grabbed the iPod, then thought he gon' probably lose it. I'm sorry, bro, I left that feeling pseudo and whack. He was home as I approached with a nod and a greeting out the norm. I could've sworn it was God that planned the meeting, tried to give what he was lacking. It's odd, the man was needing, I could see it. I wonder if his noodles intact. Then it hit me, I should've just asked him. Yo, I decided what he needed in intent, determined action. Left the man no better than we met. Bet just giving stories through this music like the cool boy rap. I let my feet speak truth to those who ever got a clue, because one act of love is worth 1,000 words I rap to you. Yeah, 1,000 words I rap to you. One act of love is worth 1,000 words I rap. Come on. I've got so much loving inside, my soul is buzzing. I can't hold my loving, now I gotta walk it, now I gotta walk it out. I've got so much loving inside, my soul is buzzing. Talk a little, live the motto, walk a little, give a lot of. Now I gotta walk it, now I gotta walk it out.
You will not eat, sleep, drink, blow your nose, or even dig in your butts without my say-so. Boo-hoo. What?
I have to go to the bathroom.
You hold it, turd.
I can't.
I said hold it or I'll break that up and kick it around on the ground. What the hell was that, you little freckle-faced cartoon? Bleep, 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 bleep. What are you laughing at, pig boy? You find a piece of candy in your pocket?
No, sir.
What's your name, Tubby?
Heathcote, sir.
Heathcote. You know, you remind me of the doughboy. If I poke your stomach, will make it go, ooh. You know what? I'm gonna help you make room for lunch, bacon boy. Drop down, give me 30 sit-ups right now. Let's go. Count 'em out. Let me see that belly roll. One tubby.
One, sir.
Come on, pork chop. Two tubby.
Okay, so you're gonna read this, pause, read that, pause, and then read that. Make sense? I just want you speaking to the mic. Speaking to the mic. I'll hold
I got
it.
it. Hi, everyone. Hi, you are listening to the Hawk&Bel podcast.